Party Animal Quilting. I'm Debbie Brown.
I'm so glad you're here. Can I offer you some refreshment? My husband opened the Valentine's candy that I gave him, and he opened it early, so I thought I'd share. It is a sampler of Chow chocolates. I particularly like the firecracker chocolate that has Pop Rocks in it. I also have some Harney tea. Tonight's selection is Paris, which is a light floral Earl Grey. What's that? You like my shoes? Thank you. They're new. They're from Hot Chocolate Shoes. They're called Chocolaticas, and they have ladybug on one shoe and polka dots on the other. I've always wanted a pair, but I found a pair on resale for only $20 and $5 shipping. How could I not buy them? And they still had the tags on them. Never once been worn. Super comfy. I'm glad you like my shoes.
This week's job in Party Animal Quilting is to quilt the 4 squares that I stitched into the quilt outside of the medallion. So I have a white center square, and then I have different colors going around it. In the medallion of the quilt, I stitched a spiral and stitched flexible feathers on them. I want to stitch flexible feathers in this block as well, but I am going to use the center square as the spine for my feather and stitch flexible feathers on the outside edge. Let's party! Since this block is outside the medallion, I want it to be shadowed or subtle. I don't want it to stand out as much as the red did, so I chose a matching orange cotton thread. It is a 50 weight cotton through a size 90 needle, and I have an 80 weight polyester Deco Bob bobbin. So this is going to be subtle quilting, just enhancing this part of the quilt with depth rather than color. I'm going to start in the corner here. And I am going to stitch flexible feathers. For more information about flexible feathers, check out my Quilting Essentials Machine Quilted Feathers class. Now that I've finished all of the feathers, I'm going to stitch the block, and I am going to do a square spiral inside. Since I've done spirals in the quilt, either as the feathered spine or as a border element, I'm going to add a squared spiral to this. The lines here are approximately 1/4 of an inch apart because I am measuring off the size of my foot, which is also approximately 1/4 of an inch apart. And I'll just end there in the middle. Here's my feathered block. I'm really happy with it, and I'm now going to go stitch the other 3 blocks. Here's the quilt so far. I knew the quilting was going to be subtle, and it is. The center medallion is in red. So there's the center medallion. And I wanted these squares to be more background looking. And they are. When this is quilted and lit, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm very happy with it. And I think I'm going to have to work on some of the side pieces next. Maybe some of those big V's out into the border. But I have another week to think about that. Hi, I'm Debbie Brown of DebbieBrownQuilts.com. Do you have a stack of quilt tops just waiting to be quilted? Are you afraid to ruin them if you try to quilt them yourselves? This is the class you've been waiting for. For the first time, I teach the techniques I share in my sold-out machine quilting classes to you at home. Quilting Essentials, First Steps to Free Motion Quilting, has been thoroughly tested and is finally ready for you. In more than 3 hours of video, over 10 lessons, I cover topics like stitch length, edge-to-edge quilting, tying knots, and 10 different free motion quilting patterns. You can practice these on small quilt sandwiches, panels, your own unfinished quilt tops, or on one of the 4 patterns included in the class. Enroll now and go from "I can't do this" to "look what I did now."